You've seen it 100 times. You're sitting on the couch with your family or friends, but the moment you stand up to go to the kitchen, even just for a glass of water, your dog is right there. They don't even look at the others. They don't care that the movie is still on or that someone else is offering a pat on the head. They choose the shadow. They choose you. Most people look at this and laugh. They think it's about the treat tax, that the dog is simply calculating the statistical probability of a dropped piece of cheese. Or maybe they think the dog is just clingy or bored. We use these labels because they make sense in our human world of transactions and entertainment. But that's only the surface. In the world of dog psychology, following you from room to room isn't a search for food, and it's not a lack of independence. It's something much more primal. To your dog, you aren't just a person who moves through the house. You are a moving, safe zone. When a dog selects their favorite, they are performing what scientists call an anchor check. Deep in their brain, their nervous system is constantly scanning the environment for threats and signals. While the rest of the family represents company, you represent the baseline. You are the person whose movements dictate the rhythm of their entire world. When you move, the world changes, and they need to be near the source of that change to feel regulated. This is powered by a massive surge of oxytocin, the bonding hormone, that triggers not when they get a treat, but simply when they maintain proximity to their primary attachment figure. For them, being near you isn't a choice they make with their mind. It's a requirement for their nervous system to feel at peace. But here's where it gets deeper. Being the favorite isn't actually about who the dog likes the most in a social sense. It's about whose scent and presence provide the most profound chemical relief. And this leads to a choice most owners completely miss. Think about the end of a long day. You come home, drop your bag, and kick off your shoes. Eventually you head to bed, but you leave your sweater or a worn t-shirt on a chair. If you watch closely, your dog won't always choose their expensive, orthopedic bed. Instead, they'll curl up right on top of your discarded laundry. To us, that's just a pile of clothes that needs washing. To some, it's even a bad habit or a sign of a messy dog. But in the dog's sensory reality, that fabric isn't just cotton or wool. It's a concentrated map of your identity. Your dog's olfactory bulb is roughly 40 times larger than yours. When they press their nose into your scent, they aren't just smelling you, they are accessing a biological sedative. Studies of canine brain activity show that when a dog catches the scent of their favorite human, the caudate nucleus, the brain's reward center, lights up like a firework. But it's not just about pleasure. It's about the reduction of cortisol, the stress hormone. For the dog, the world is a loud, unpredictable place full of sights and sounds they can't control. Your scent is the chemical home that tells their nervous system the protector is here. The world is okay. And this leads to a choice most people miss. Have you ever noticed how your dog reacts when you've had a particularly stressful day at work? They don't just want to be near you, they want to be on you. They are trying to soak up your state, but also to anchor you with theirs. This choice of favorite isn't based on who is the most fun. It's often based on scent compatibility. Dogs are drawn to the person whose unique chemical signature aligns with their own need for regulation. If you are the one they choose to sleep near when you aren't even in the room, it means you have become their definition of safety. But that's only the beginning. Because being a quote-unquote safe scent is one thing, but being the person a dog looks to in a moment of crisis is another level of connection entirely. And the science makes this even more surprising. Imagine this: a sudden, violent crack of thunder shakes the windows, or a heavy object falls in the next room with a loud bang. In that split second of fear, your dog doesn't just run away. They freeze and immediately whip their head to look at one specific person in the house. Most owners think the dog is asking for protection, like a child running to hide behind a parent's legs. We call it looking for a hero. But in dog psychology, this is a sophisticated cognitive process called social referencing. The dog isn't just asking, "Will you save me?" They are asking, "How should I feel about this?" When your dog chooses you as their favorite, they are designating you as their primary reference point. They are literally using your nervous system to calibrate their own. If they look at you and see you are calm, sipping your coffee, their heart rate begins to drop. But if they see you jump or sense your cortisol rising, their world collapses into panic. This is where the connection moves from simple affection to co-regulation. Science shows that the heart rates of dogs and their primary humans actually begin to synchronize over time. You aren't just two separate beings living in the same house. You are two parts of a single emotional feedback loop. But there's another layer to this. Have you ever noticed that your dog might play with everyone, but they only bring the broken toy to you? Or they only lean their full body weight against your legs when visitors arrive? This isn't just about comfort. It's about resource orientation. To the dog, the favorite is the most valuable resource in the environment, not because you provide food, but because you provide certainty. In a world they cannot predict, you are the only predictable thing they have. But here's where it gets surprising. Sometimes the dog doesn't choose the most active or loving person. They choose someone else entirely. And the reason why changes everything you thought you knew about winning a dog's heart. We often assume that a dog's love is a mirror, that if we shower them with high-pitched praise, constant petting, and endless excitement, they will naturally gravitate toward us. But have you ever seen a high-energy, chaotic dog bypass the person cheering for them and go sit quietly at the feet of the person who is barely paying them any attention? This is one of the most misunderstood dynamics in dog psychology. Most people think the dog is, quote, ignoring the fun person or being, quote, moody. But what's actually happening is a search for behavioral synchrony. Dogs are master observers of energy. Their entire evolutionary success is built on their ability to read the subtle shifts in a predator's or a partner's internal state. When a dog chooses a favorite, they aren't always looking for someone who matches their current energy. They are looking for someone who matches the rhythm they need to feel balanced. If a dog is naturally anxious or high-strung, they might choose the quietest, most stoic person in the house. Why? Because that person's nervous system is a stabilizer. In the presence of someone calm, the dog's own adrenaline levels can finally drop. This isn't just a preference, it's biological matching. They are selecting a partner whose internal metronome helps them regulate their own. Think about those quiet moments at home. You're working on your laptop, not saying a word, and your dog just comes and rests their chin on your foot. There's no play, no treats, no eye contact, just presence. In these moments, the dog is performing a status sync. They are choosing the person whose presence requires the least amount of, quote, emotional work. Being the favorite doesn't mean you are the source of their highest highs. It means you are the person who allows them to reach their deepest rest. But this trust is a fragile thing, because when that internal rhythm breaks, the dog is the first to know. And if you notice a sudden change in who your dog is following, it might not be about the dog at all. This is what most owners miss. Your dog isn't just watching your actions. They are monitoring your emotional weather. And this leads to a shift that can be a powerful warning sign for both of you. We often think of our dogs as fixed characters, the loyal shadow or the independent spirit. But attachment is a living thing, and it reacts to the invisible shifts in your life. Have you ever noticed your dog suddenly switching sides? Perhaps they were always your partner's shadow, but lately they won't leave your side. They are glued to you, watching you with an intensity that feels almost heavy. Most people assume the dog is just being moody, or that their preferences have simply changed. But this is where dog psychology reveals a deeper, more vulnerable truth. Dogs don't just sense your presence, they sense your autonomic state. Through their incredible sense of smell, dogs can detect the microscopic rise of cortisol in your sweat and the subtle shift in your breath's chemical composition when you are under pressure. They can hear your heart rate accelerate before you even realize you're anxious. When a dog suddenly shifts their focus to you, it's often because they've detected an emotional leak. This is emotional contagion. To the dog, if the anchor is drifting, the whole ship is at risk. By pressing their body against you or following you into every room, they aren't just seeking comfort, they are trying to ground the system. They are acting as a biological mirror, attempting to absorb your stress and replace it with the steady, rhythmic pulse of their own loyalty. But here is the warning. If you are always the one they have to fix, the favorite status can become a burden for the dog. If they are constantly in a state of hypervigilance because your emotional weather is always stormy, their own nervous system begins to fray. Have you ever had a moment where you looked at your dog and realized they looked just as exhausted as you felt? This is the moment the relationship redefines itself. Being the favorite isn't a trophy you win and keep on a shelf. It's a constant, silent conversation. And if you don't listen to what their clinging is trying to tell you, you might miss the most important message they ever send. Because the final reason they choose you isn't about your strength. It's about how you handle your weakness. We spend so much time trying to prove our worth to our dogs, training them, buying them the best food, and making sure they're entertained. We want to be their favorite because it feels like a victory, a validation of our love. But the final layer of this choice isn't about what you do for them, it's about what you represent when everything else falls away. Think about the quietest part of the night. Everyone is asleep, the house is silent, and the world outside is dark. Your dog isn't asking for treats then. They aren't asking for a walk. They simply find where you are and rest their head near you. In the language of evolution, this is the safe base effect. In the wild, a pack is only as strong as its ability to rest. If a dog can't sleep deeply, they can't survive. By choosing to sleep by your side, they are making the ultimate psychological statement. I trust you to watch the world so I can close my eyes. This was never just about behavior. This is a profound surrender of their survival into your hands. When your dog chooses you as their favorite, they aren't just choosing a playmate or a provider. They are choosing their emotional anchor. They are choosing the person who makes the world feel small, manageable, and safe. You are the one who organizes their reality. Without you, the sounds are louder, the smells are stranger, and the floor feels less solid. With you, they are home, no matter where you actually are. So the next time your dog follows you into the bathroom, or stares at you while you're stressed, or insists on sleeping on that one old shirt you forgot to pick up, don't just see it as a quirk. Look at them and realize what is actually happening. They aren't just being a dog. They are constantly checking their anchor. They are making sure the person who holds their world together is still there. Being the favorite isn't a title. It's a sanctuary. You aren't just present in their life, you are the place they go to be themselves. And in their eyes, that is the greatest gift anyone could ever give.